Welcome to the Messy Medium podcast. I'm your host, the Messy Medium herself, Tara Cecilia. I'm a tea connoisseur, intuitive psychic medium, and a lifestyle and business coach for individuals looking to create their most luxe legacies. I'm here to spill the tea on life, death, legacy, and everything in between. In this podcast, we're not afraid to get a little messy. So here is what's bugging me. And again, this is unscripted. This is just probably going to be a lot of rambling. I'm pretty sure that's what 90% of this is going to be. I keep seeing on TikTok, on Instagram, and even text posts, being Delulu is a Salulu. Remember, y'all, being Delulu is a Salulu. And that's no hate to the creator who originally said it. Being delusional is not the solution. Being like, I'm delusional enough to think I'll reach this goal, or I'm delusional enough to think that this, whatever, makes sense, or all it's doing in my mind is taking away your power. You're basically saying that, I'm not willing, I want this, I see this for myself, etc. I'm putting it out there in the universe that this is something that you want and desire, is an aspiration of yours, but I don't actually think I'm worthy of it. That's what that says to me, is or it's I'm unhappy with this situation, I'm unhappy with how this is unfolding or whatever, but I'm don't care enough about myself to seek any type of solution, any type of real solution, or make some kind of commitment. It's just, why are we so willingly taking away our power? Constantly we let our power be taken away by others, even intentionally or unintentionally. It happens all the time. I do it myself. Why are we allowing ourselves to take away our own power? Why? Because it's cute? Because it's silly? Because it's trendy? Nothing should be cute or trendy enough to make you be like, my dreams are just this funny little thing. What I want for myself is just this funny little thing. My boundaries, or my comfort, it's just this funny little thing. It's not a funny little thing. It's important. You are important. And it just irritates me so badly that so easily are we just oh my god, it's just so silly. Me, my aspirations, my goals, my boundaries, it's just so silly. Why? So I'm just watching all these people post this online, and I'm just you guys, your actions, your intentions, your alignment have consequences. They have reverb in the universe. They cause reaction in the universe, and the universe is going to be oh, they're just silly. They don't actually care. They're not going to make the commitment. They don't actually want the solution. They don't actually want to achieve these dreams or goals. They don't actually want to attract this person in their life or end this situation. It perplexes me so much. And I try not to let social media stuff like that get to me, but for some reason this really does, because I guess I just am getting to a place where I'm so intentional about my energy, what I can be, because obviously we cannot control and mold everything the way we want it to be. We can't make it be exactly how we want it to be. So I understand that, but I am intentional about a lot of things, and there's so much uncontrollable stuff going on in the world that, like, literally it's a dumpster fire out there, but at least I know I can work on these goals, and I can work on these dreams, and I can work on finding solutions, and I can, etc. However the trend is being used is applicable. I'm just like, you can do this, like, you don't want to do the same thing. You want to undermine yourself. You want to basically make a joke out of your future or your circumstances. Because if you think it's a joke, the universe is definitely going to think it's a joke. And then we're stuck in feeling bad about ourselves, feeling bad about our circumstances, feeling bad about certain situations. It's like, well, you put the energy out there. The question really is like, how many ways are we undermining ourselves, and in how many ways are we selling ourselves short, not giving ourselves what we deserve? A lot. And I feel like this kind of sounds like I'm maybe trying to say, like, you should try to be the most perfect version of yourself, which I'm not saying. I'm just saying you should only accept the best for yourself, from yourself and from others. And I feel like Delulu being the Salulu is like, what are you willing to accept? Because that kind of feels like the bottom of the barrel to me. And personally, that's not, you have to do at least a little bit better than that. As somebody who struggles with like mental health, there's also this whole other side of this conversation to me. Being delusional is a serious part of mental health. It's a serious part of mental illness, or like symptom of it. And being delusional like really can ruin people's lives. And it affects their loved ones. It's huge. Being delusional has a huge impact. And as a society, it seems like we're kind of trying to make mental health matter, but also at the same time, it also feels like we're not. So for me, I see this, and like, you're making a joke out of being delusional, but like, that is a serious thing. It's a serious thing. And I'm just like, why? I understand it's coming from like a coping mechanism place. We're just trying to cope. We're trying to just kind of protect ourselves and make things okay, because they definitely don't feel okay. If you're on social media, you know that things are not okay. So being delusional, or playing pretend, I don't even know. It just feels like we're trying to cope. But in trying to cope, we're kind of relinquishing control of our intentions, and we're kind of undermining ourselves, and it just kind of makes me sad. And I just think people deserve better. And I guess I kind of hope that, like, through this podcast episode and just kind of like saying it to people in conversation, that like, actually you deserve better, and even just like planting that seed for people, I hope it helps. Because if you plant a lot of seeds, maybe eventually there'll be like, a huge, like, we'll all realize and be like, oh wow, here's the harvest of like actually being intentional with what we say. Here is the result. Here is the fruitfulness of, harvesting intentional thoughts and actions and relationships, and, it just frustrates me. Yeah, I just don't undermine yourself, and just kind of realize that, like, is that something we should be saying, or like, is it not? And I get it. It's trendy, it's cute, it's funny. You set background music to anything, and it's like a good time anymore. And that's where it's just like, what are we doing? What are we screaming out into the void? What are we putting out into the ether? I just have a lot of questions about that. And I have a lot of questions about the future of social media and its impact on our lives and our children's lives and, like, et cetera, future generations. Is it hurtful? Is it helpful? It's probably both, because duality is in everything. I just kind of am asking for you to only give yourself the best and try to show up as your best self and kind of set your best intentions for yourself. And, like, don't be the villain of your own story. Don't undermine yourself. Don't be the one who sabotages you. There's enough of that working against us every day. You don't need to add into it. Because at the end of the day, like, who's gonna have to be the one to deal with it? You. Unless you continue to ignore it. Whatever it may be, whatever your it may be. Facing things head on. You can do it. You've got this. You've got a community around you. If you don't, and you're just, like, thinking, like, delusional enough to think these people are good for me, why not find people that are actually good for you? Don't be delusional enough to think you can achieve something or make something for yourself or reach a certain goal. Actually be that bitch. Actually be that person. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Don't kid about it. Be about it. You are capable of that and, like, so much more. So much more. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Again, this is, like, literally no plan. I just came on here. I just want to talk about this. Because it's bugging me. It's bugging me so much. Till next time, I'm Tia Cecilia. Stay blessed, babes. Thanks for tuning into the Messy Medium podcast. If you liked today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and follow wherever you're listening from. You can find me, the Messy Medium, on all social media platforms under the handle Tia Cecilia. If you'd like to book an intuitive reading, consult session, or explore my coaching containers, please find the direct link to those services and more in the show notes. Until next time, stay blessed, babes.